There's so much pressure for people to have the most perfect wedding day. And when I look back on our clips from our day, it was far from perfect, but it was our day.
Not really sure where we're going. It's very helpful.
Walking on a road.
They basically told us that we now need an official translator. We've got 6 minutes. It's touch and go at the minute, 6 minutes, one slot left.
A lot of people have noticed recently that on Instagram and in past videos I've been dropping a lot of hints about the fact that we got hitched here in China. Well, I was bombarded with questions, mainly why we ditched the UK, did our family know, and also people wanting to know the full story about how we almost did not get married here in China. And today, as we've decided to take a trip to the place where this all played out, I've decided to share all the juicy details with you. Oh, this is where you took that really nice picture of me in the dress when I was in the coat walking down. Yeah, this is where we were like taking those pictures where we were walking down. I've never been the kind of girl that wanted the big white dress, lots of bridesmaids, flowers, fancy church, all eyes on me kind of big day wedding experience. That just isn't me. Which is kind of ironic considering I live in China, which is going through its own wedding craze right now, but we'll save that for a future video. So me and Jack decided to elope and get married on the Great Wall of China on our own on Christmas Day. Arguably the most important family day in the Western calendar. My parents were sad, but not surprised. But they understood our decision. After all, it felt right for us. And whilst they were sad and had their own reservations, they seemed quite content that we would have a party at some point back in the UK. So they put on a brave face and were really supportive. But when it came down to that fateful Christmas morning and we were stood in a Beijing registry office, it was my turn to fear that we'd made a terrible mistake.
So how did you feel on the day? Were you nervous?
I kind of just like had this feeling that something was gonna happen, even though like I'd prepped so much and I knew I had all the documents, but I don't know, I just knew something was gonna happen. I had spent months getting all the documents in order, getting in touch with the embassy. We had to sign documents to prove that we weren't married, and even getting my colleague to take some official style wedding photos that we needed for our little wedding book. After jumping through all the necessary bureaucratic hoops, we eventually had time to focus on us. So we headed to Beijing's knockoff market to get Jack a tailor-made suit for 1,000 yuan. I got a beautiful wedding dress off TAOBAO for just 600. I made a flower crown. On the day of the event, we got ready in our own apartment. I did my own makeup, we piled into a taxi, we got dropped off underneath a random bridge. We got to the registry office and we realized we were the only people dressed up because apparently people have their ceremony in China a different day to when they register. Even after all of that, it couldn't dent our enthusiasm because as unconventional as it may have been, this was our day. Or at least it was, until the person behind the desk took out this dusty old rule book and thumbed through it looking for a rule, eventually settling on foreigners can't get married without a Chinese translator present. I looked on the internet, I said. There was no mention of this. Foreigners can't get married without a Chinese translator present. But you can speak English, right? So can you be our Chinese translator? No. Great. We had about an hour until our slot was up. All of the Chinese people that we knew were at work because Christmas Day isn't celebrated here, so it's just a normal work day. What are we going to do?
They basically told us that we now need an official translator.
There's a part of me that suspects she just wanted to get off early for her lunch, but there was no time to think. We had to act fast. We rang everybody that we knew and everybody was busy. Jack's colleagues were busy, my colleagues were busy. 20 minutes had passed and some people weren't even answering their phones. Eventually, my friend rang me back and said that her and a Chinese boyfriend could get down in 20 minutes. What a relief. He may not be an official Chinese translator, but he could speak Chinese and English, and he'd tell that taxi to bloody well step on it.
Yes. It's touch and go at the minute, 6 minutes last slot left. Nico's friend is still in a taxi, so pretty touch and go. I'm gonna say, I'll keep you posted.
We stood by the marriage centre door, eagerly checking our phones every second as the clock was ticking down. Our day was about to go from joy to heartbreak, but suddenly a beat-up Beijing taxi screeched to a halt and our knight in shiny sweatpants ran past us and declared that he was going to be our translator. All four of us, by this time his girlfriend had also caught up, ran down the corridor and piled into the tiny registry office to sign the paperwork. I don't think my palms have ever been that sweaty as when I had to dip my thumb in the ink to seal the deal. Oh, and by the way, the person who married us, she could speak English and the forms were in English.
Anyway, I think we're married anyway.
Yeah, we're married.
Congratulations, us.
In all honesty, did you think we were going to make it?
No, I didn't. I think that was the most stressful hour of my entire life.
Me too.
And especially when I had the location and I could see where they were and I was like, come on. Then when he was running to get there.
I think that by the end I'd pretty much given up all hope. So when it actually happened, it was kind of just I just didn't even know how to react. When he actually arrived, I was just like...
And it really didn't take that long either.
No, and then we went into the room and it's oh, they speak English? The registrar spoke English and the form is in English. I mean...
It was so stupid, wasn't it? But, I mean, it makes for a good story.
It does make for a good story. And now we're back again. Look at this.
What a perfect evening. I mean, there's no one on the wall.
I love you.
I love you too. So after all that stress, the marriage itself was actually super quick. We only had to sign some forms. So after checking with her if we were in fact married, we hugged and we kissed and we went downstairs and took some pictures with our new little red wedding books. We thanked our friends one last time for literally saving our day, smiled at the friendly receptionist, and we jumped out of the registry office into our golden carriage. Well, a Didi. That would take us to the location of our party for two. After we got married, we decided to come to this lovely hotel near the Mitian New Great Wall called the BRICKYARD Hotel. It's so beautiful here. There's amazing views of the Great Wall right from your bed. After we checked in, we decided to head up to the Great Wall to take some stylish photos in our wedding gear. So after all that drama, we finally made it up to the Great Wall. But we only had about an hour or so to spare before it actually got dark. We didn't have a professional photographer, so Jack brought his tripod and his self-timer, and we certainly did not have enough clothes to shield us from the cold winter afternoon.
Made it up to the Great Wall finally. We've got about an hour or so here before it shuts. It's, I don't know if you can see much of it. It's pretty big.
It's big.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great. Fucking cold as well.
This is where we took my favorite photo and the sun was shining through my dress, and I remember just how cold it was. We were blowing into our hands here because it was absolutely freezing. That is so different from today where it's absolutely boiling hot. I'm so sweaty. It may be grey skies, but don't fool you. It's like 33 degrees right now. This is where we took our seating photos. I remember I had to sit here to get the shot, and then Jack would like run in from behind the tripod, and we put it on a timer so that we could just keep getting shots. So there's lots of action shots as well, which makes this even more special. The day wouldn't exactly go to plan because it's us, and no matter what we do, something always happens. There's always an obstacle or an adventure that we have to overcome. We thought that if we ditched the wedding in the UK, it would save us from all the nerves and the stress and the fear, but we certainly had our fair share of stressful moments. Coming here today and reliving the experience though has made me realise I wouldn't change it for the world.